Baptist Children's Corner. My name is Dave. This is the COVID Home Edition 22 for September the 13th, my anniversary, 40 years. Happy anniversary, dear. Okay, so Peter, I want to talk about Peter today. Jesus' buddy, Peter. He was one of Jesus' apostles, one of his special disciples. But before Peter met Jesus, his name was Simon. He was a fisherman. And him and his brother Andrew were fishing, and they, one day while they were fishing, and they're just cleaning their nets, and then Jesus comes walking down the beach, and he just started his mission trip, and he's like, "Hey, you two guys, you should leave your fishing, come with me, I'll teach you how to fish for men." And they look at each other and go, "Yeah," and they're in. And and that's the thing. That's what I like about Simon. He was an extreme kind of guy. Like, that's an extreme move. Yeah, we're in, 100%. Go, and there he goes, and he's in. And in fact, he was so dedicated. Later on, Jesus said to him, "Simon, who are the people saying that I am?" And Simon's like, "Well, some are saying you're Elijah the prophet, come back. Some are saying you're another great prophet, come back." And Jesus says, "Simon, who do you say I am?" And Simon says, "You're the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus says to him, "Simon, you weren't given this knowledge just on your own. This is the grace of God. God has given you such a huge amount of grace to understand this, to know this to its depth. You are so solid, such a foundation. I'm going to build my church on you. You're going to be an impressive, such a leader, such a start of my church. You're going to be the foundation. You're the solid rock. In fact, that's what I'm going to call you. I'm going to start calling you Rock." And in Latin, rock is Cephas, and the translation for Cephas is Peter. So from then on, he was Peter. And I love this. This is what an extreme thing, I'm in 100%. You're the Messiah. That's who you are. Tell him. It was great. That's great. And then later on in the Garden of Gethsemane, when Jesus got arrested by the temple guards, the Roman soldiers, Peter's the one who hops up and pulls out his sword. Peter's got a sword. Of course, Peter's got a sword. Joe Extreme. Pulls out his sword. "No way, not Jesus!" And he starts to fight, and he hacks off this guy's ear. And Jesus is like, "Oh, no, wait, no, Peter, stop." And he actually picks up the guy's ear and puts it back on, and they take him away. And that's Peter, extreme Peter. I love that extremeness about Peter. There's this other part of Peter, though, that the part that a couple hours earlier, while they were having supper, and they're sitting around and having a good time. It was a good night. They were feeling good. The festival was on, and the next day was the start of the festivities, the actual festivities in the temple. And Jesus is with his guys and having a good time, and they're talking about, who do you think who's been the best? We've been with him for 3 years, and we've been doing good. This is good. Look at what's going on this weekend. We're here. The people love us. They love him. They just love him. This is great. I think I've been doing pretty good. You've been doing pretty good. They're talking like that. And Jesus catches this, and he says, "Guys, I'm enjoying this meal, but even tonight, one of you is going to leave and betray me." And I'm like, "No way." And he says, "Yeah, even before the rooster crows twice, one of you is going to deny even knowing me. Peter, you're going to deny knowing me 3 times. Peter's like, "No, I don't think so." And the other guy's like, "No way, not Peter, never, no, not me, never, no, that ain't happening, no." But sure enough, a few hours later, they come and they arrest Jesus. Peter stands up like he's jokes, "Yeah, no, not Jesus." He's ready to fight. But then Jesus tells him to settle back, so he settles back, and he follows Jesus to where they're taking him, to Caiaphas, the house of Caiaphas, the palace. And he's hanging around, and somebody sees him hanging around and goes, "Hey, were you with that guy, that Jesus guy? Or you were with him earlier today? I saw you with him. Were you with him?" And Peter's like, no, I don't even know the guy. No, I don't know. No. And he gets a little closer into the courtyard, and somebody goes, "Hey," sitting by the fire, and he says, "Hey, you were with him today, weren't you? I saw you with him today. Hey, right?" He goes, No, I don't. And somebody else goes, Yeah, I saw you too. And he goes, No, I wasn't there. I don't even know the guy. I don't know what you're talking about. And just then a rooster crows twice. And Peter denied knowing Jesus 3 times. And I'm thinking, this is where if the foundation, the base, the solid rock denies Jesus, how can I expect to live out my life like not denying, like not, but then and I'm scared that I'm not going to be good enough. But then I remember this story. After Jesus arose, there was a time when Peter and the guys were sitting around, and Peter said, I'm going fishing. Nothing's happening. I'm going to go fishing. Anybody want to come? And James and John and Nathaniel and a couple others, they went. So there's like 6 of them went with Peter, and they go fishing. And they're out in the boat, and they go fishing. They know. They're fishermen. They go 3 o'clock in the morning, that type of thing. And they get nothing. They get skunked. So they're coming in, and it's dawn. It's getting to be a little bit of light. And as they're coming in, they see this dude on the beach, and the guy goes, "How'd you do?" And they're like, yeah, no, we got skunked. And he goes, "Hey, throw your nets on the other side." And they kind of look at him and whatever. So they throw the nets on the other side. All of a sudden, nets are full of fish, just like full of fish. Never pulled in so many fish, and they're not ripping. The nets aren't ripping. They're pulling. So they go. So they look at the beach, and they recognize that's Jesus. And Peter goes, "It's the Lord!" And he's hops out of the boat. That's like 100 yards to shore. He's halfway running and trudging and swimming and wading. And he goes running and he's, Jesus, it's all great to see you again, all that, and the guys come in with the boat, and Peter's so excited, he's like, "I'll get the fish, I'll get it." And he pulls in this net all by himself, like Joe Extreme, and he's pulling it. I love Peter. This is great. This is Peter. And then they share breakfast with Jesus on the beach, and this is great. Here's Jesus after rising again, and we get to have breakfast with him, But there comes a point later on, the guys are over here doing this, and it's just Jesus and Peter standing by the fire, and Jesus looks at Peter and goes, "Peter, do you love me more than these guys?" And Peter now, I'm sure he's been standing there trying to think, how am I ever going to say I'm sorry for, like he knew I was going to say I didn't know him. He knew it, and I said no, and then And then now he's asking me if I love him more than those guys. Well, I do. I would die for him. I know I would never do that again. Never. That's never going to happen again. I would die for him. So he goes, "Yes, Jesus. Yes, I love you. I love you so much." And Jesus says, "Feed my sheep." And Peter's like, "Oh." And I'm sure he starts thinking, he thinks I don't love him. He had to ask me. He thinks I don't love him anymore. And then Jesus says again, "Peter, do you love me?" Peter's like, "Oh, I think I don't love the Father, for Jesus, you know that I love you. I love you so very much." And Jesus says, "Feed my sheep." And then Peter's left again, like he thinks I don't love him. He's questioning me. He's asking me, like, but he knows. He knows everything. He knows I love him. Why is he asking? He knows. He knows how I feel. He knows everything. Why is he asking? He knows what I think. He knows I'd never do that again. I love him, so I would. And Jesus says, "Peter, do you love me?" And Peter says, "Jesus, I love you so much. So much." And Jesus says, "I know. Feed my sheep." And then he kind of tells him encouraging things. He says, "Good things. You're going to do great things, Peter. It's going to be great. You're going to be great." And that's it. And I think if Peter can deny Jesus, and Jesus never even brings it up, never says, "I knew you were going to do that. Told you so." Never said that. All he ever did was say to him, "Feed my sheep." And that's all he ever says to us, is tell people. Tell people about me. That's what God says. Tell people about my son Jesus, who's got you forgiveness. So I think this is why I like Peter. Peter's Joe Extreme, and I love the extreme. I like that. I'm just a little bit like that. But that part of him that makes him so human, and he knows he's the first one to say, I mess up. I mess up every day, and I know exactly how he feels because I mess up. I've messed up so many times, and I mess up but I also know, like Peter knew, he knows I love him. God knows I love him. He just wants me to tell everybody else. I can do that. I can wake up every day and, trust again. God loves me. I know he does. Because I love him. And he knows I love him. And even if I didn't, he'd still love me anyway. But I think that's what that's what it was about for Peter, was just tell everybody. And just as a way of saying, as a curious side note, I said that Jesus said, yeah, my church is going to be built on you, you'll be the foundation. Well, apparently, in Rome, at the cathedral in Rome where the church is, that's where Peter's buried. And the church is actually built on top of Peter's coffin, or like in the ground. He's in the ground there. So church is actually built on, I think that's just a neat note. But I like Peter because he's extreme. And he's also human. He says to us things that are very honest. And he said, don't worry about it. Jesus loves you. Tomorrow will be good. Start again. Tomorrow will be good because God still loves you and always will. All right, I got to go. I'll talk to you later. Bye.